everyone. My name is Whitney, and this is my brand new YouTube channel. Now, as you notice, the name of my YouTube channel is Shebang TV, and that's because it's going to be the whole shebang. We're not going to just talk about one thing here. We're going to actually hit topics on kids, relationships, marriages, spiritual things, things that women go through, things that men go through. I want to just make sure I hit every aspect of anything that could possibly go on in your day-to-day life. The main thing that I'm going to talk about in my first few videos is something that I'm actually going through myself, and it's a big transition in my life. It's those two dreaded words that I know everybody absolutely hates: separation and divorce. But I want to talk about how these things are not always a bad thing. They can sometimes be a good thing depending on what was the reason for the breakup, what was the reason for the divorce, and how you all can heal from that going on. Now, I'm planning on doing 2 videos a week. I think that I'll start off just doing 2 videos a week, and then as time go on, we'll just see what's needed and as it becomes available. So I want you to go, guys, right now, before I get into everything, like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your notifications as well, so you can be one of the first ones to know as soon as I post a new video. Okay? So the next thing I wanted to just go ahead and dive into today is, like the title of the video, I wanted to go ahead and let you all know that today is my first video, but it's also going to be talking about 5 questions to ask yourself before deciding to leave a marriage or relationship. So these are 5 things that I asked myself, and it wasn't a 6-month or 1-month situation that I just did this. It was years of me asking myself this and getting clarification. So when I came up with these 5 questions, I thought that they were questions that really helped me to decide if my transition out of my marriage was the best thing for me, or was it something that I would regret later on. So with that being said, let's get started. The first question I want you all to ask yourself is the marriage salvageable at all? In order for a marriage to be salvageable, both parties have to be willing to get in their ring and fight for the marriage. If it's one person wanting to make the marriage work, but the other one is not putting in the effort, the marriage is not going to work. Both parties have to realize that there is an issue within the marriage and be willing to put in the time to make it work, the effort, and they have to understand that things are not going to always go their way, and that even though you are going through something in the marriage, fighting for it does not mean that it's going to be happy times all the time. It's still going to come with some heartache and some problems, but is it worth saving? Number 2, are you doing it for you, or are you doing it for someone else? When I say, are you doing it for you, I don't mean, are you just doing it for yourself and your kids? Because you cannot stay in a relationship for your kids, but you can't leave a relationship for your kids as well. If you and your spouse are having issues with how to raise the children, those are things that you all need to talk about, and maybe consult a third party in order to try to figure out ways that you all can be on the same page. Also, it's a bad idea to try to leave a marriage for someone else. Some of the same flaws you saw in your husband or your spouse, you're going to see in the other person, or they'll have different flaws, but they're still going to be flaws that make you not want to do it anymore. So make sure you're doing it for your own personal growth, your own personal happiness, and what you actually need and desire. Because even if you leave for someone else, it's no guarantee that their relationship is going to work out either. Number 3, have you taken your emotions out of the situation and got logical about it? When I say that, I know a lot of people will look at me crazy because, how do you take your emotions out of a marriage? It's not taking your emotions out of the marriage. It's taking your emotions out of the decision. In order to do that, you need to say, let me say to myself, did I really and truly do something to make this marriage go like it is? If it's something that the person is not doing for me, or something that went wrong on down the road, what did I do to make this happen? Did I, not give enough attention? Did I give too much attention? Did I not listen when this person told me that, they were feeling something as well? Did I do anything to onset the way that this person is feeling towards me? that is taking the emotion out of it and thinking logically, because no one is 100% right in any situation. Number 4, have you prayed or consulted help to get clarity in the situation? I know people pray, but there are some people who don't pray. So for those of you who don't, have you tried to go to a counselor and just have someone who is a mutual person between you all, listen to both sides of the story to see what's the reason for, you all not getting along at the moment, or what's the reason for the marriage you all wanting to leave the marriage? Have you prayed about it? Me personally, I am a very spiritual person. So the first thing I did was prayed about it and tried to get more of a understanding of what was going on and what I was feeling from God. I prayed on things very, very specifically. I didn't want to just throw it out there and say, hey, God, fix my marriage. I asked him for certain things, but I also asked him for strength in order to get through and to leave the marriage if it was not the best thing for me. And so once I gained clarity and I understood exactly what it was I was supposed to do, I was able to make my decision without regrets. And the last but not least is, think about, what does your life look like when you think about your life without that person? Are you happier? Do you feel like you'll feel the same? Or do you feel like you'll be more unhappy if you leave that person? Because we can get so mad at someone at one point in our life where we'll make a hasty decision where we decide to leave real quick. And then when you leave that person really quick, you find yourself depressed and in a worse situation than you were, because now you're missing them. You wanted to come back, but we might have our pride and we don't want to tuck our tails between our legs and go back to where we were. So that's something that you want to think about before you make that decision. If you're going to be happier without that person, or you feel like that person is taking away from your happiness, then nothing is worth having if it's going to take your peace or your happiness. So those were the 5 things that I came up with that I want you all to really ask yourself if you are on the breaking point of leaving, you're thinking about leaving, you're thinking about making it work, you're thinking about counseling. Either one of these, whichever step that you're in within this, I want you to think about these, because these are things that will ultimately help you make the best decision for you. And then when you make your decision, you'll feel better knowing that you did absolutely everything that you could do to make sure that it was the right decision for you. I want to thank all of you all for watching. Let me know what you all think. You have any questions, just comment and put your notifications on so you can receive the next video that's coming up. It will be within this week. So I'm hoping to see you all back here again soon. Bye.